you for joining me today for another sketch sesh. What this live session is all about is I'm going to tell you about this month's Making Art Every Day theme. We're going to go over what the prompts are, kind of tell you some insights behind the theme. And then after that, I'm going to do a little drawing. I'm going to pick one of the prompts and just go ahead and draw it. It's kind of like an on-the-fly little drawing session. You can follow along with me if you want, or you can just draw whatever you want. It's just a nice time to kind of spend some time drawing together. So if you're new around here, I always like to explain what Making Art Every Day is. It is a drawing challenge. I have daily drawing prompts and tutorials and motivation to help you nurture your creative practice. We've been running it for 6 years, and we are about to go into year 7, which is always so it's just crazy that we've been doing it this long, and it's really been a journey, like the way that the Making Art Every Day has evolved over the years. We've tried lots of things, and we made a lot of changes this year, which were, I think, really exciting. Like, we switched to a monthly format from like a weekly format, so you get all the month's prompts ahead, like all at one time, and then you can kind of like plan your month of art making. We introduced a drawing journal this year, and just kind of like really try to shake things up to make Making Art Every Day the best that it can be and support you guys in the best way possible, because that's always what matters most to me. Is like, I want you to feel excited about drawing. You don't have to draw every day. That's not what it's about. It's just about making drawing like an important part of your life and something that you want to focus on. And if you draw once a week, that's great. If you draw every day, that's great. If you show up a few times a month, that's great too. Like, all that matters is that you're just trying to be consistent with it. So as we go into our next year of Making Art Every Day, we're going to be planning out the new year and implementing some new changes and things to just make it better for you. So before we get started with this, I just want to mention that in December, in a week or two, I will be sending out a survey for Making Art Every Day to get your ideas, what kind of prompts you want to see and themes you want to see, what kind of tutorials you want to see, what works, what doesn't work for you about the way we structure Making Art Every Day, like the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to hear it all, because I really use the feedback on this survey to shape what Making Art Every Day looks like each year. So please keep your eyes peeled to your inboxes for that survey, and I'll be blasting it out everywhere. And I would love, 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 love to hear from you about that. So look forward to that. Okay, well, a couple other things before we get into the prompts. I just want to fill you in on what's been going on, because this is actually a very exciting week around here for Team Bardot. We are doing our 5th annual Week of Giving. We've been doing this since 2020, and it's a time for us to kind of just say thank you to our community, and we do these big giveaways. So every day this week, Monday through Thursday, on Instagram, we've been giving away master bundles, my complete collection of Procreate brushes, and annual Art Makers Club memberships. And not only do the winner get that prize, they get to pick which one they want, and then they get 2 of those, one to keep and one to give to a friend, so we can pass along the goodness, and it's all about giving. So if you aren't a part of that yet, head over to Bardot Brush Instagram, and you can go ahead and get in on that contest and maybe win some prizes. And you guys are my YouTube fans, so I think you're going to be even more excited about what's coming up on Friday. On Friday, so the 29th at 10 a.m. Pacific, we are doing a live tutorial. We've been doing this like day after Thanksgiving live tutorial for years now. And we are also doing a huge giveaway. We're going to be giving away master bundles. We're going to be giving away Art Makers Club memberships. And we're going to be giving away a brand new iPad to one lucky winner. It is such an exciting event. We look forward to it every year. It's exciting for everybody, and I hope that you guys join us. It's a nice way to spend some time, and maybe you'll win something too. We're going to be drawing this cute little A-frame cabin, which maybe I can show you on my iPad really quick if you want to switch down here, Jeb. So here's what we're going to be drawing during the tutorial, this cute little cozy cabin scene. And If you want to win the iPad, you have to be present to win, so be sure to be there, and we'll give you all the details about how to enter and everything like that during the tutorial. So that's really exciting. And then while I'm down here on my iPad, we're also running some really big sales for our Colorful Friday. We don't do Black Friday sales, we do Colorful Friday sales around here. So Art Makers Club membership is currently on sale. It's a really good deal, especially the annual membership. You get a discount on that right now, and you get to lock in that membership rate for as long as you're a member. So it's like a really good time to, you know, if you're thinking about joining when there's a sale is like, I highly recommend it. And you know, if you join as an annual member, you get to kind of just have your creative time kind of locked in for the year to come. Like there's always going to be a new tutorial every month for you to do, and there's community to support you. So if you're really looking into next year and you want to focus on your creative practice, you know, Procreate especially, I think joining the club is really going to help you out. So that's what's going on there. And then in Bardo Brush, we're also having some really good sales. Let me close that. Our master bundle, we're doing $60 off. And then we have 30% off all other brush sets. So if you've been, you know, eyeballing some Procreate brushes, also a really good time for that as well. All right, I think that's all the kind of catch up that I had for you guys today. So let me go ahead and get into the December theme for making art every day. I'm gonna open it up here. So our December theme for making art every day is holidays. We're getting into the holiday spirit, but it's not just your usual December holidays. Those are there. This year's theme, or this month's theme, is actually based on all the different holidays that occurred during December. So I'm going to pop over to the prompts page, because each of the prompts is an actual, like, real holiday that happens that day. So if I zoom over here to like the first week, you know, December 1st is National Pie Day. December 2nd is the Business of Popping Corn Day. The 3rd is Let's Hug Day, National Sock Day, Walt Disney Day. Like, these are real holidays. So you can kind of use these prompts to inspire you however they inspire you. Like for Mitten Tree Day, which I had to look that one up, but it's like I think it's like, now I'm forgetting, like a time to give mittens, and I should have looked it up again, but you could just draw some mittens. Like, it can inspire you to just draw some mittens. Or National Letter Writing Day. Like, I used that prompt down here, and I did like just a little Dear Santa letter. Or you could, you know, draw a different kind of letter or something like that. Pretend to be a time traveler day. That's a fun one. Like, if you love Back to the Future, or like Doctor Who or something, you know, you could get into a little bit of pop culture with that one. It'd be really fun. So that's the first week. And the second week, we've got a lot of really fun ones. National Llama Day, National Logger Day, International Mountain Day. I want to point out Gingerbread House Day, because I'm planning a really fun tutorial in Art Makers Club based on that prompt. So let me show you that real quick. We're going to be drawing these fun gingerbread houses, and we're going to be using a club exclusive brush set that I made. A couple years ago, we did a whole like cookie decorating tutorial, and I made this really awesome brush set specifically for drawing these kind of like decorated cookies. I think I have, here's one here. This one's actually an animation. To draw these decorated kind of like semi-realistic cookies. And I actually just added 3 new brushes to this set. Well, let me show you those. And they actually have kind of a, excuse me, kind of a 3D shadow built into them. And that's really exciting, because they're really fun to use. And I'm just gonna do it really quick just to show you down here. Oops, let me make a new layer. So they have like the 3D little shadow kind of built into them. I'll show this one as well. It might be hard for you to see on camera, but you can kind of see the shadow. So they're really fun, and we're going to be making gingerbread houses using that new set, or using the new brushes in that set. So that's really exciting. And that tutorial is happening on December 4th. So if you want to do that with me, get the brushes and everything like that, you might want to think about joining during the sale, so you can also get the discount, and we'll have a good time. All right, so we've also got National Cocoa Day, like draw a cute cup of hot cocoa or something like that. Monkey Day, National Cupcake Day. Okay, Chocolate Covered Everything Day, Festival of Winter Walks, Bake Cookies Day. Again, we got that fun cookie tutorial. That would be really fun for that. Look for an evergreen day, and I think this is what I really want to draw like kind of a Christmas tree or pine tree or something like, so I might draw that today. Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, and then we've got, some usual suspects, winter solstice, Yule, draw a Yule log for that. National Christmas Movie Marathon Day. I think this one's really fun because you could like pick your favorite Christmas movie and draw something from the movie, and that would be really fun. Eggnog Day, and then of course Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Card Playing Day, TikTok Day, not to be confused with TikTok app, but this is like a day to like get your last minute things done before the new year starts, is like what that day is supposed to be. National Bacon Day, and of course New Year's Eve. So lots of fun, like kind of random holidays, but I hope they inspire you to, draw whatever you want that kind of like comes to mind when you think of what the day might mean. You don't even have to know what it means. Just use it to draw whatever comes to your mind. I think it's really fun. So as always, this is our drawing journal. I didn't mention that, but we have these drawing journals, and you can go and download it at, we can share a link in the chat, but it's also in the description. It's, we'll just share it. It's get.bardobrush/December-journal. That's a lot to remember, so just use the link. And you can use this to kind of plan out your month of drawing. In the beginning, we have kind of just something to describe what the month is all about. We have our prompts page, and you can actually click or tap onto this layer here where it says highlight faves, and you can get a brush and let me not get that brush, whatever brush you want to kind of highlight stuff, and you can like, highlight prompts that you're excited about. You can make notes. Ooh, let me make that brush much smaller. Highlight prompts you're excited about. Make notes about like, oh, I'm going to try this brush, or I'm going to try this style, and things like that. Or whatever it is that you want to do. You just kind of mark it up and use it to help you plan things that you want to try. The next page is our goals and intentions. So I always encourage people to set a few intentions for the month. Maybe like, oh, there's a brush set I really want to get to know. I'm going to try and use that for my artwork this month. Or I'm just going to make a goal to like every Friday night, I'm going to sit down on the couch with my iPad and I'm going to try and draw something. Like they can be like mini goals, because those are really going to help you kind of stay motivated and stay, keep with your goals that you set out for yourself to kind of nurture your creative habit. And we've got some, suggestions of things that you can try. The scrapbook page is where you can, put all your artwork that you've made for the month, and you kind of see it all together, which is really, really fun. And there's an example that you can see about how that might look right there in these layers. And then finally, we have a little reflection. And I think this is one of the most important parts. I mean, making the art, of course, is important, but like spending some time reflecting on like what has worked for you this year, what hasn't worked for you, this year, this month, or whatever. And this one, I think is really, really important, because one of the first questions is to spend some time reflecting on like what you've been most proud of for yourself in the entire year, however long you've been trying to do this. And I really want you guys to take some time to think of what you're proud of for yourself, because I think I know for me in particular, I set out this year and I'm like, I'm going to draw every day. Like I really wanted to do that. And I did really good in the beginning. Like first few months, I was like doing my daily drawing every day. And then it kind of like fell off and it became less frequent. And like, I think at times I felt disappointed about that, but I always try to remind myself that like, hey, like I've made so much more art than I have in other years, and I should be really proud of that. And being in my sketchbook and drawing on my iPad more regularly has become more natural, and it's just like something that I do now, not something that I have to like force myself to do. So just take some time to be proud of yourself. That's all I want to say about that. I think it's really important for us to do that. And then we've got a few other questions like what pieces were the most meaningful to you this year? What brought you the most joy? What lessons have you learned about yourself? Like all of that's super, super important. So you can use that to journal. And I highly recommend doing that. All right, so that is the drawing journal. I always want to, of course, point out our prompts page, which is at makingarteveryday.com. We haven't turned it over for the new month yet, but on the 30th, I believe we're going to turn it over. This is, the November prompts, but you can tap on any of these prompts and it'll take you to a search result for images kind of based on that prompt. And then of course down below we have like related tutorials. So tutorials that kind of go along with some of the prompts there. So this will all be switched over to December very soon. And then down this section is things at Art Makers Club, additional tutorials and courses and things to support you in your art making for the month. All right, I think that's everything. How's everybody doing in our chat, Jeff?
Everyone's doing really great so far, it seems. We got lots of folks here, which is amazing.
Yay!
So great to have all of you guys live with us today.
Awesome. Hopefully, maybe you guys had some time off this week. It's Thanksgiving for us tomorrow in the United States, so maybe people have time off. Hopefully. Or you're just here, and we appreciate you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch gears and do my drawing now. You can feel free to follow along with me or just pick a prompt and draw at the same time as me, whatever you want. I was really interested in the look, this look for an evergreen day was inspiring me because I really have been wanting to draw like a Christmas tree or something like that. Of course, this prompt could also work for the Christmas prompt as well. But yeah, and I kind of want to do it in watercolor, in digital watercolor. So that's what I'm going to do today. I am going to be using brushes from a Watercolor Wonder brush set. This is a set for doing digital watercolor. And I actually have a free sample pack of this Watercolor Wonder. Maybe we can share a link. I'll put it in the description. It's not in there yet, but do you want to share a link to that, Jeff, in the chat maybe? But you can download this little sample pack. It's got a few of my brushes from Watercolor Wonder. I'm going to be using a couple of those plus some from the big pack, I think, as well. But it's get.bardobrush.com/watercolor if you want it. Okay, so Watercolor Wonder comes with these like textured canvases. We've got one of those in the sample pack, so I'll just go ahead and open that one. It's the Procreate file. And the sample pack has, I think it's the soft grain. There's a few different textures for the textured canvas, but this one's soft grain. And I don't think I'm even gonna do a sketch. I'm just gonna start painting for this. So our sketch sesh is not gonna have a sketch day. Okay, I'm gonna grab like a green and I am gonna go ahead. I'm actually gonna be in the, not the sample pack, in the regular set, watercolor core, and I'm gonna pick, I'll do the hard edge round brush, or maybe the edge pooling. I'm gonna do the hard edge round. But I'm just gonna like do some strokes and hopefully it looks like a tree. So something like that. We'll just see how it goes. So with these like sketch sessions, I'm kind of like making it up as I go along. So I'm kind of doing these like flicking motions. I'm gonna try a different brush. Edge pooling. Okay, I'm gonna try a different brush. I'm gonna do edge pooling, maybe. And I'm just doing these like little strokes like this. Lots of little strokes like that. I don't know. Okay, sometimes in our art making process, we're just like trying things out experimenting. So now I'm kind of doing a little bit of mark making right now to see what kind of brush is going to give me the little like strokes that I want. So let me just try a few. I'm going to try this Aquaflow brush. So that's probably a little too light for my little tree strokes. Dry liner is more of a liner brush, so that's probably not going to be exactly what I want. Hard edge round. Kind of leaning towards that one. Kind of like the way those strokes look. And then the color dauber round is pretty cool because it like has subtle color variations from stroke to stroke, but it might be a little too round for my kind of strokes that I want to get. So maybe not that one. And then I had that edge pooling brush, so. Okay. I think I'm digging the edge pooling. I think that's the one I want to do. I like the texture that it has. So I'm just going to go ahead and clear this layer out with like a little 3-finger scrub motion, like that. And now I'm going to try drawing some little strokes like this. And I'm kind of using like sort of a flicking motion. And I'm trying to make sort of a tree shape. Trying to leave some spaces in between because I think I'm going to come in with another color, maybe. All right. I'm just going to keep going down, doing these kind of like flicking motions. Just kind of leaning into the irregularity of this. It's kind of getting kind of big over on that side a little bit, but that's okay. Can always make it bigger on the other side. Okay. Well, it's looking pretty good. Trying to decide how many is enough and how far down I want to go. So it's good to like zoom out a lot too. That helps. But I'm liking the shape so far. So I think I'm going to just add a couple more strokes and be good with that. Well, there's my little tree. Lots of little strokes. So I said I wanted to like layer in some other colors. So I'm going to actually switch to these glazes brushes. These have like, essentially they have like this multiply blend mode effect built into them. So when you like layer a stroke, it gets darker and darker and darker. Whereas if I did the same brush with the core set, it would be, where's the hard edge round? It doesn't have that same effect. It's a little bit transparent, so it gets a little bit darker, but only to a point. This one will keep getting darker and darker. So I'm going to switch to the core set. Core, and I'll do that. Oh, I think I was using edge pooling, so I'm going to use edge pooling. And then I'm going to switch to a slightly different color, maybe a little warmer, so closer to the yellows, a little lighter, maybe a little bit more warmer. I'm trying to mix in some different colors, so I'll try that. This is a pretty light green. And I'm just going to like layer on some of these strokes. So you can see how there's sort of like a transparent look to it because it's a glaze brush. And you can see it even more with like a light color like this one. Like if I went to the core brushes, you can see how they just kind of like sit on top of each other, almost more opaque. Whereas like the glaze is more like a transparent kind of effect. So it just kind of depends on like what kind of look you're going for. I'm just doing some like same kind of strokes, little blobby strokes. Now as I'm getting down here where I kind of spread things more apart, I'm going to try and like fill in the gaps so that it's not as white there. truth be told, I'm kind of feeling like it would have been better to have like these kind of like lighter colors towards closer to the top, because like that's where the light would be hitting this, but it's okay. We're making it up as we go. It's fine. It's really pretty. I love all these little strokes. And I really love how the colors start to look, especially where the two colors overlap. See this like kind of third color that has like the warm green kind of mixed in with the like cooler green. That's what I love about watercolor, especially digital watercolors, layering strokes on one another to kind of create new colors. Like, I kind of like it. It's looking good. So now if I want to keep adding more strokes anywhere, I can. And it'll still like kind of start to darken and darken. So I'm just kind of trying to decide if I want to do like another color or not. I don't know. I can always try it and go back. And I'm doing everything all on one layer too. I haven't changed layers or anything like that. If I did want to, like if I want to try another color, but I want to be able to like just delete it if I don't like it, I could create a new layer. I just want to make sure that I set the layers blend mode to multiply, because that's what's going to give me that kind of glaze effect that I was just showing you guys. If I didn't do that, even though it's a glaze brush, if I didn't set it to multiply, it would still look like it's sitting on top like that. See that? And if I set it to multiply, whoops, multiply, then it's more transparent. Okay, so I have a new layer, set it to multiply. I'm gonna try a much cooler green, because I kind of have like a middle, a warm, and now I'm gonna go like, I don't know, just see how that looks. Ooh, should I like it? So I'm experimenting here. I can always delete this layer if I don't like it, but I'm kind of using these to make these sort of like stripes across there. You know, like the layers of the tree. I don't know. I'm experimenting. It's really pretty. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you like all the layers? Is it too much, too busy? I don't know. Let me know what you think.
Gina was saying it looks so pretty.
I really like it. It feels like so layered and like complex, you know, like there's a lot going on, which is actually like, you know, what you would expect in a tree, because there's like so many, you know, branches and like needles and things like that. So I guess keeping it more complex is not a bad thing. I really do like it. So maybe I'll do just a few more of those. And then
Sherry was saying, I like it. I added more towards teal.
yeah, like, yeah, I have it almost here in the blues. So I kind of had like 3 colors, and I have them here in my history. So I think the first color was this one. The second color was this one. I'll put it up here. And then the third color was like a really almost teal kind of color. So those are the 3 colors that I used, and it looks real. I really like it. So I think I'm gonna not delete that layer. I'm gonna keep it, but I'll get rid of these. And it's like kind of tilted, so I'm gonna use my transform tool to like center this. Okay, I'm just gonna select both of these layers and then turn off magnetics. There we go, and straighten this tree out. Okay, so now I could add a tree trunk if I want, and I would put that on a new layer because I like to separate things. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to set the layer to multiply. When I'm doing digital watercolor, all my new layers I set to multiply. And then for the brush, I'm going to choose, well, maybe I'll stick with that edge pooling brush. Get like a brown kind of color. The edge pooling brush is kind of transparent, like that's why it looks so light when I kind of draw with it or paint with it. It looks very light. So I like to layer to create, you remember I was talking about layering. So I'm still using the edge pulling, it's the glaze one, and I'm just gonna layer over the top to kind of make it a little bit darker. It also makes the colors a bit richer. And I often like to layer with a different color. So I just did the same color, but maybe I'll get a little brighter, more saturated, and layer that on top and see if I like it. Maybe it looks a little too reddish, so maybe I'll go a little more yellow. You can experiment with, like, you know, what colors that you layer on top. So I'm gonna go less saturated maybe if I want to darken it up. Or I can actually layer on maybe some strokes to create sort of a bark texture. I'm gonna switch brushes to do that. I have this bristly dry brush. Maybe I'll try that out. See if oh, I like that. I like that, okay. I just did a few strokes with this bristly dry brush, and I like the barky feel. I want to have a little bit of a shadow, like like the branches are casting a shadow. I'm gonna choose this like hard edge round and like kind of just do like part of it dark towards the top, and maybe that'll be, yeah. I always like to zoom out so I can kind of see how it's going. But I do like how that looks like a shadow. Cool. I like how that's going. I want to add like a little snowbank, something like that. So I'm going to create a new layer and set it to multiply. And then I'm going to choose like a blue color for that. Really light. Not that brush though. I have this one edge dry brush, which kind of, I like that. Ooh, the bristly. So for me, the bristly dry brush, I actually have the Apple Pencil Pro. And I recently released an update, I think in October, for this set to take advantage of that. So I can actually like rotate the bristly dry brush and get like different strokes. So I could have strokes like that, or I could rotate it and get strokes like that. I really have been loving the Apple Pencil Pro, big fan. And I kind of like the texture that this brush is giving me. And maybe I'll add a few more strokes, I don't know. Maybe get a warmer blue, mix that in too. I'm using that glaze brush, so they're just gonna kind of mix together a little bit. So you can see I have the two blues in there, that's pretty. But I kind of wanna like soften these strokes a little bit. So I'm gonna grab, in my watercolor tools set, this Watercolor Wonder has 3 sets. There's the core, the glaze, and the tools. So I'm in the tools now. I have these blender brushes. So I'm gonna grab the water blender, and this just kind of like, it's like you're adding water, and it kind of like softens your stroke. So I'm gonna soften the bottom edge of these strokes. So it kind of looks like they're fading off, but there's like a hard edge on top. So maybe that's like the edge of a, you know, snowbank or something like that. And I might even blend out the bottom of the tree trunk perhaps. So I'm gonna go to the trunk layer and see how, that's kind of cool. Like it looks like you're doing like a wet into wet, like you know, you just plop some color down, the colors kind of bleed into each other. I could do that for the top edge of the tree trunk too, maybe. Kind of blend that. And that kind of like, I like that. It softens that edge. It makes it look a little less harsh, you know, the transition from tree to trunk. So I think that's pretty. I'm digging it. My tree trunk feels a little off center, but I'm gonna let that go. I'm like, it's kind of like, it's fine. Okay, I'm digging this so far. But since it is the holidays, it might be fun to add some decorations to this. So let me do that. I'm gonna do it in a non-destructive way. So So that way if I want to turn off the decorations and just have a tree, I can. So I'm just gonna create a new layer, and I'm gonna do some little like bulb ornaments like these. So I'm gonna grab my core brushes, and I'm gonna grab this brush called Easy Painter. This is the most opaque brush of the whole set, and I'll show you why I want it to be opaque in just a sec. I'm gonna grab white, and I'm just gonna paint some little spots like this. If you're a watercolor painter, you might be familiar with masking fluid, and I'm kind of like, this in my mind is kind of, you know, like how you might use masking fluid. Like you would paint some spots, some dots like that with the masking fluid, and then paint your tree over it, and then peel away the masking fluid to leave the white paper behind. And then you can fill in these circles with a different color. So that's kind of what I'm kind of doing, you know, sort of, if you're familiar with watercolor painting. I'm gonna create one more layer and set it to multiply. I did not set this one with the white to multiply, because when you set things to multiply, white becomes clear, becomes transparent. And I want the white to be kind of like the masking fluid. So that's why I'm doing that. And let's get a brush. I'll do hard edge round, that's fine. And then I'm gonna get some colors. I could do red little ornaments like that. Let me see, I could do them all red, I could do them different colors, but I'm trying to decide. I think the red is cute. I'm a colorful Christmas person. My palette for Christmas at my house has almost no red, right, Jeff? Like,
yep.
There's not a lot of red. Like, we do a lot of pink and teal. I'm not red and green. I'm like pink and teal are my Christmas colors. There might be a little red, but then there's also like yellow and orange and like lots of colors. You know, a cool thing I could do is I could like turn on alpha lock on this layer, and then grab a color and just like grab like the Easy Painter and just paint over these, and that will just like change the color if I wanted to experiment and see if I like that, because that Easy Painter brush is so opaque. We need some blue. So it just kind of like changes the color of it. A little darker on that blue. But I don't know. Maybe, oops, the orange one down there. I don't know. Try to decide if I like it. Maybe another blue one down here. It's cute. I like it. Maybe one more yellow. Yeah, that's fun. Okay. More Lisa now. All right, and then maybe I'm gonna turn off alpha lock and add a little like star to the top. I'll use the glaze dry liner and just draw a little star, nice pointy star. So I kind of want to add this, and you know, I have this overlap now, but I actually have a brush that if I wanted to get rid of that in the tools, the Precise Blender, I can just blend that away. There we go. How cute. I like it. I'm resisting the urge to add more stars and things like that. Oh, we could do little snowflakes maybe with this kind of bluish color. Just, why is it not showing up? Oh, I'm using the blender. Okay, let me get the dry liner. So I'm just adding little dots. These are maybe like snowflakes or something. And then, let me not do the glaze. I'm gonna do the regular core dry liner. And then we can add little. If you are a follower, It's very hard for me not to add sparkles to things. I do it on many, many tutorials, and you probably have come to know this about me. But these are snowflakes, so, you know, they're different. Oh, that's cute. Hey. Okay. I think it's pretty good. That was fun. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna call it good. This one's really, really fun. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you followed along and made a tree too, like, please share it. I would love to see it. If you're on Instagram, you could tag Lisa Bardot, tag Bardot Brush. I can't wait to see what you have created, and I hope that this month has you excited. There's a lot of really fun, kind of unique prompts, plus, you know, our, you know, normal kind of what expected holidays that you would expect this month, plus some other ones. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be a really fun month, and I'm really excited to see, you know, what you create this month. Let me think if there's anything else I wanted to cover before I don't think so. Before I sign off, I just wanted to say, you know, thank you guys for such an awesome year of art making. It's been a really fun year for making art every day with all the big changes that we've implemented, and I'm really excited about what's to come next year. Look for more details coming out about that towards the end of the month, and of course look out for that survey that I'm going to send out, because I really, 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 really love hearing from you guys and what you guys want to see, and it really does help shape making art every day and the type of tutorials I make and what we do in Art Makers Club. So please, please, please send your ideas, send your feedback, good, bad, ugly, all of it. I want to hear it all. So thank you again for joining me today for this sketch sesh. Hope you have a lot of fun, and until next time, happy art making.